and 3 cups of sugar plus 3/4 cups of sugar, 1 can of evaporated milk, 2 sticks of butter plus 1 teaspoon of butter, 2 teaspoons of flour plus 1.5 teaspoons of flour. And that's it. And while the sugar is melting, we want to bring this to a boil. I'm going to put it on medium heat for it not to burn or stick. And you can stir this while the sugar over here is melting. And what you're looking for in the sugar in the cast iron skillet is an amber color sugar. So it's going to melt down. And you can start to see it melting. I'm going to let it hang out for a minute and I'll stir it around. But I stir this, constantly stir, because I don't want it to stick and burn. And you bring this to a low boil while the sugar is melting. So I can come over here and stir it around. And you can see it's starting to melt. Now, do you have any questions so far? Be glad to answer while this is going. They may have some questions in the chat.
Nope, I'm not seeing anything in there yet.
Okay. I got my love of baking from my mom. She baked all the time. She would make us homemade cookies and cakes and her yeast rolls. So we all have those skills that we learned from Sister Odessa.
Did you grease the pan?
No.
Can you use brown sugar?
You can, but this recipe is the old-fashioned way. And I have seen recipes with brown sugar, but I like this recipe better. So you can see it starting to melt. It's clumping up, but all these clumps of sugar will melt down.
Mm.
So growing up, I'm not a fan of the caramel cake. I find the frosting's a little sweet because it does take a lot of sugar.
Did you get from Miss Susie's recipe?
This is not Miss Susie's recipe, I don't believe. I would have to ask my mother how Miss Susie would make it, but that's what I was just getting ready to say. Growing up, our neighbor down the street, Miss Susie, would make this caramel cake, and everybody raved about that caramel cake. It was so good. I found it to be really sweet, but it was the most popular cake on Tuxell Avenue and our church dinners. Miss Susie's caramel cake and Miss Bertha's fried chicken.
Yeah, listen, that's all. Can I get her?
Excuse me?
I'm looking at Bill. He is cracking up.
And Daryl can look down in here and see how it's going. It's coming together.
Val.
Yes.
OD said that is Miss Susie's recipe you cook.
It is?
Yep, that's what she just said.
Oh, okay.
What's the flavor difference if you did use brown sugar?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
What didn't you like about it?
This was just the old-fashioned recipe. When I was researching the caramel frostings, they were saying the brown sugar is, that's a shortcut because it's already caramelized.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So see how it's clumping up, it's coming together. And this is starting to boil over here as you can check. Starting to get to a low boil.
So at this point, you have used all of your ingredients, right? There's nothing else
Yeah.
that, okay.
All except the vanilla is the last thing that goes in.
Okay.
That's after it's all incorporated and it has come to the right temperature.
Mhm.
And I have a candy thermometer that I'll be using once I put the caramelized sugar in. You see it's coming together.
So you'll tell us more about the candy thermometer, because I don't think I've ever heard of that. But I'm
Yes.
not.
Free premium delivery when you add a base. And Monday.
Sorry?
No, somebody else. Radio picking up.
Radio.
Somebody radio's picking up.
Oh, okay. See, it's starting to get that brown color, and it does stick to your spoon or spatula. I use a wooden spoon because I've melted spatulas. I just use my wooden spoon. It's starting, you see it's starting to turn.
Mhm.
It takes about 10, 15 minutes. I have it on a medium heat.
Mhm.
See it getting brown?
Yep.
Why does it look chunky? Is that the sugar?
Yes, that's the sugar. All of that sugar will melt down. And I'm just stirring this mixture with the sugar and the flour and the butter and the evaporated milk because I don't want it to stick.
So you have to stir both things at the
Well,
same time.
Oh
That's a
no!
lot of,
you don't
Good thing you got two arms.
Talking about multitasking.
you don't really have to stir the sugar, but I just like to help it along. I'm just doing this for time's sake. Sometimes I just let it hang out till it melts, but you have to watch it because it'll burn. And you see that rich color? I'll let it hang out for just another couple minutes, not minutes, few seconds more. That's a nice, can you see the color?
Mhm.
yeah.
So we had a question about, we have a question about your color. They said, so the caramelized sugar is what gives the frosting its color?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Soon as some of these bigger chunks of sugar melt down, I will pour, then you immediately pour the caramel into this mixture on the stove. And that's a nice color. You see it? Nice caramel color. So it's starting to boil, so I'm going to take it, turn off the heat.
Sure you
Use a pot holder. And
Yeah.
once you pour it in, get on the other side, you probably. It's going to bubble up. And you start to whisk. And I turn the heat down just a little bit because it's bubbling. You start to whisk, and then I'm going to stick in this candy thermometer. And with your candy thermometer, make sure it doesn't touch the bottom. And we want this to get to 232 degrees. That's the softball stage according to this recipe. And I just keep stirring. Now, if you don't have a candy thermometer, you can use the ice water test. Anybody know what that is?
I do.
Who said that?
Charlene.
Charlene,
Of course, Charlene knows.
of course.
I learned that from Miss Halloran in 7th grade at CFA
Okay.
in
Yeah.
home ec. You put some, take some ice water, right? in a
Yes.
glass, and then you put a drop of your mixture in the ice water. And if it forms a soft ball, then you've hit that stage.
That's correct.
If you go
Wow.
beyond that stage, it won't be soft and chewy caramel. It'll be hard, crunchy, like toffee.
That's correct. And I can demonstrate that for you. Hand me that glass, huh? I'm gonna put some ice in the glasses. We're not quite at 2:30. We're almost there. I'm gonna get some ice. Turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, the old folks didn't have candy thermometers. They could tell by eye.
That's true.
Just look at it and know where it was.
I can't really see the thermometer from the screen.
Oh yeah, I see the blue line.
Yeah. So I'm gonna demonstrate we'll see if it's at softball stage. And what I like to do is just put, you see how it goes to the bottom? These strings.
Mhm.
Shift your hand around. Shift
Yeah,
your,
your hands in the way.
your hand
I'm
is-
sorry. See how it went to the bottom?
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Okay. So now I'm gonna fish it out. You keep stirring that for me, please.
Your thermometer fell. Your thermometer fell. Your thermometer fell.
It's okay. It's
Oh.
okay. Don't worry. That's live television.
They're not by the thermometer. Okay, just a second. Let me empty out this water.
Sorry, folks. Network difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Please
Technical
stand by.
difficulties.
You only have one production person today.
That's right. Well,
Okay.
I fry.
Yeah. Next. Okay. This is what came out of the water. So if you can roll this in a ball.
Nice
See, it's
soft
not
ball.
quite there yet.
Mhm.
See? When it reaches the softball stage, you should be able to roll this in a ball, firm ball, and squeeze it between your finger and thumb.
She's making the frost and she already made the cake.
So we're getting there. It's not quite
Cameraman got a stir and camera.
I know, right?
Mm.
Multitask.
Mhm.
Turn you up just a tad. And you see how dark it's getting darker?
Mhm.
Mhm.
A few more minutes.
Oh, Lee thought she had to work today because she was.
And
Oh, the mount hang up.
my digital thermometer broke, so I think my husband broke it when he fried the turkey. Doesn't work anymore.
Mhm.
Y'all know better than that.
I think we're at 225, so we're almost there.
I would slip a plug in. Y'all remember that?
Yes, I do bake. Baking is my side hustle. If you're Facebook friends with me, you've seen some of my products.
Show that again. Somebody want to say it again.
Get a little closer, Daryl.
Get a little closer, Daryl. Val,
That's better?
Val, someone wants to know if you actually ship.
I do. I do ship.
You just
Certain
shipped
things-
Poochie and the Taylor girls.
Yeah, certain things ship better than others. Like this caramel cake, I don't know. Maybe if I've never tried to ship that. All right. We're gonna try the softball stage one more time so you can actually see. I think we're ready though. Falling down to the bottom. Should form it, yeah, okay. It looks like it's good now. You can tell by looking at it too, and I think it's there.
Mhm.
Turn the heat off. All right. Heat up is
It really is almost like a caramel fudge. The frosting is so good.
Yeah.
Have you made it, Charlene?
I eat it. I don't make it.
no. Okay, I
That's too
got
much.
this.
Too much work.
Okay.
I know. I was like, I'm not making it. There's a lot of work
Okay,
right
see?
here.
Can you see my hand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the strings of frosting that came out of the cold ice water. Oops. And it's formed a ball. And you can see
Mm.
softball stage. Okay. Once it's done, then you add the vanilla. This is it's 1 tablespoon plus 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And I just measured everything out for time's sake.
Pure vanilla or vanilla extract?
Pure vanilla
Oh.
extract. Good vanilla. Not imitation. I ran out of vanilla last night. I went to the store. I went to Publix. And of course, they didn't have any McCormick's. So I have Publix pure vanilla. Okay. Now, the recipe says continue whisking this until it forms a spreadable consistency. So it has to cool down. But I like to take this is a little twist I do. I like to take my caramel frosting up a notch. So, if you remember your grandmother or Miss Susie's frosting, what they would do is once this cooled a little bit, they would just pour it over the cake. I don't do that. So what I like to do, come over to my kitchen aid. I will pour this in.
Take the bucket out of the way.
What bucket?
Oh, that's okay.
You see all that? Sweet, beautiful, creamy frosting. Instead of me keep whisking it, I turn on my KitchenAid and I will whisk. And I'm just demonstrating. I would whisk this till it cools down to a spreading consistency. And sometimes I might wait till the next day to do it. And
Finishing product.
once I'm done, once all this comes to room temperature, spreading consistency.
Let me say it again. Now, on the select microphone, I got same as system. On the speaker, select speakers, speaker headphone, high definition, same as system, or which one you check? Okay.
Georgia, we hear you. You put your phone on mute. So, like I said, I let this hang out till it cools down. It becomes a spreading consistency. This is the finished product.
Nice.
Okay, I made this cake yesterday and the frosting last night. Now, in order to pipe it in a piping bag with your tips, I add some confectionery sugar and heavy whipping cream to what's left of the frosting and put it in the piping bag.
Yes, you ship out of state.
I'm sorry?
Somebody asked you, do you ship out of state?
I do. Put it in this piping bag to create this cute little border and little rosettes, and you can see how it comes out.
Now, Good in a cupcake jar?
Yes, you could do this in a cupcake jar.
No
You could
shit.
do yellow cake with the caramel frosting. You can even put caramel sauce inside the cupcake.
Ah, you fancy.
To get this caramel, I didn't make any caramel sauce. You can use this La Leche. I'm not Spanish. Dulce
Charlie,
de leche,
say-
and it's a caramel. I'm sorry.
So Charlene and Jael can say it.
Yeah,
Cupcakes de leche.
yeah, that. And what I did to get the drip, little dripping, I just melted this down with some heavy whipping cream and a little butter, and just put it in a little bag and swirled it around. And you can make like a drip, thick drip with it, but I didn't have time this morning. So there you have it. Caramel cake by Valdez Bakes. And I do ship. Check out my Facebook page, Valdez Bakes.
Ah,
Yeah.
great, Valerie. Well,
Hi, Valerie, represent,
Thank
represent.
you. Any other questions?
now you gotta wash up all those wares.
Hot water, boiling water.
Hey, who's
I'm
gonna
sorry?
eat that cake, Val? Who's eating that cake?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take it. One of my choir members is having a drive-by birthday. I might just let her have it.
Oh, Dee says it looks good, Val.
Well, I can cut it. Would you like to try it, Daryl?
No, no.
Thursday. We ain't got time for all that.
Yeah, we got two
Well,
other
thank
cooks.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Valerie.
You're a trip.
son to
Sister Law.
Matthew.
You're a trip.
You
Yeah.
are all day.
Uh-huh.
All
Now, Ma
right.
says it looks good.
Yeah.
Looks delicious.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you.
Wow.
All righty.